I have a Flask application that's listening, and it's hosting all of these APIs, these individual APIs. And here I'm giving specific instructions to it on how to do each one. And these here are the actual commands that I run locally to call them. So it's two components. It's a client component and then the server-side component. And this one is SA, which is right here, and that's the one I just ran. And look.
Wow. Yep.
So I sent in those bullets. It just wrote me a full essay in my voice that I could use and I can actually post.
Wow.
Now, here's what's even crazier about that. Because this is Unixy, and this is my background. I just love Unix. I love like the whole security angle. So watch this. I could run it again. It'll write me a new essay, but I could pipe that to thread, and it will write me a Twitter thread based on that. So I actually ran this. I could take any content, by the way. I could take the content of a web page or a story. Like there's a story, a national lab just got hacked. Just came out a few minutes ago, I think. So I could take that entire thing on the web page. Actually, this is it right here. This Idaho National Lab. I can copy that and waiting for this one to get done because it's running two different APIs. It's running SA and thread. I took one of these. It was actually about maybe the Confluence breach, I think.
Okay.
And I piped it into thread. I got something like 700,000 views on that thread.
Wow.
And my AI just built that. So the point is, like, you can stack these things in different ways according to just like when you write a Unix command, right? You have to go to sort and grep and all these different things. It's the exact same thing except for with AI commands. Yeah. So this is a result right here.
Wow.
This is the actual thread. This is the actual Twitter thread where I can take, and look, it makes a image description for each one. So each thing will have a little bit of text and it'll have an image description. So I go and make that inside of Midjourney and paste that in. And now I have a full thread that gets all these results.
Daniel, this looks amazing, but I know the audience are like going to want to know what's going on here. So you're running on a Mac, is that right? And then is it some kind of script on the client side that's calling the server that then interacts with a whole bunch of APIs on the like ChatGPT, et cetera, right?
That's right. The SA command. So basically, all of these commands are all just local scripts. Okay, and they are calling this thing here that I was showing you. They are calling /SA. So if I run the local SA command, it's piping into this SA API endpoint on the Flash server. And there's a whole bunch of security code at the top that's doing parsing and everything. But basically, it's JSON in and JSON out. And that's what allows me to take the output of SA and send it into the next thing, because it's only text that's being returned. Now, if you look into the details of this, I don't mind sharing this one. This is basically like, I'm describing how I like to write. I'm describing exactly the way that I write, the style that I use, the formatting that I use, and I give it an example of an essay that I actually enjoy. And then there's just details about like how to call the model and stuff like that. But that's fairly simple. All the real work goes into writing this. And I've got some of these that are like 3 or 4 pages long, just the template that's given to the AI.
So again, I'm slow. It's a bash script, is that right? On your local computer, or Python script that's then calling an API?
It's Python locally.
Python locally?
Yeah, Python locally.
And then you're interacting with an API on your Flask server, which is then interacting with APIs with different AIs.
The Flask server takes the content and sends that on to GPT-4 Turbo. I use different versions, but mostly it's all the OpenAI stuff on the final step of the back end.
I mean, that's great. So Python, I mean, if there's ever a reason to learn Python, now's a good time if you haven't started, I think. And then
absolutely,
yeah. So it's Python. Flask is your web server. That's like your local backend, if you like, and then that's interacting with the APIs. I mean, the question is, how the heck did you come up with this stuff?
I don't know. I think a lot about optimization. I think a lot about the stuff that I wish I could do that I can't, and what the current technical limitations are. And the technical limitations before is like we just didn't have AI to be able to do half of these things,
Yeah.
right? I got one for subdomains. This thing predicts subdomains based on a bunch of security ones here as well. But let me step through these. I've got a few to show.
That'd be great.
Okay, so that's the essay one, that's the tweet one, that's the thread one. Okay, so watch this. This is really cool. So analyze paper. So this is a paper said that cannabis use was linked with increased risk of heart attack. Okay, so what I could do is I could Control A, Control C.
Yep.
Here's the problem. When you look at a paper like this, like I'm not a PhD in this thing. I don't know what they're talking about. Is this a good study? Is this a bad study? So I go to P, pipe, analyze paper, and send it on. And once again, I have a thing over here, which I'll show you right now. Boom. This is the analysis that I'm telling it to do. And actually, I used AI to tell me how to rate these criteria. These are evidently sample size, confidence level, p-values, effect size, review the study design. So, and then it's giving me a summary, and I tell it to do it only in Markdown. And now, look at this. So I've got a super crisp summary of this paper and how good it is. I've got the authors. I've got the places that they're writing from. I've got the findings in a very clear format.
Nice.
The size of the studies, the study quality, and a final summary.
That's crazy. And it's took you 10 seconds or whatever.
Yeah. It takes like 10 seconds to run, and you get back this for whatever. So that's really powerful. Another one, like my absolute favorite so far that I've built, and this one is completely crazy. And you're going to absolutely love this one if you haven't seen it already. All right, so here's the next problem. The next problem is there's a million awesome YouTube videos, and you don't have time to watch them.
Exactly.
Right? You have all your different creators. They're all putting out stuff. David Bombal, Huberman Lab, Lex Friedman, right? So watch this. I go over here. I wish I knew everything about this video. How long is it? An hour and 24 minutes. Okay, well, I want to get to it, but I can't really. Copy video URL, PT. This is just a quick little shell script, which is called PT for pull text. So it basically pulls the transcript from this video, and then I pipe it to extract wisdom, and I'm using version 2 because I made some changes. So I'm sending this now to extract wisdom. So now I'm going to come up here and show you that actual code. All right, this is it. XWiz new. Look at this. You are a wisdom extraction service for text content. And I've got a whole bunch of tips we could do elsewhere for how exactly to give really clear instructions. You get a summary. Look at this. The most insightful and interesting ideas in a section called ideas. The quotes, the personal habits of the speakers, the facts that are externally validated facts. Really, really important.